Ever get that feeling like you're being led down a path you didn't exactly choose?
Well, absolutely.
Like that friend who always gets you to watch their movie picks?
Right.
Or the salesperson who talks you into buying way more than you planned?
Yeah.
It's like there's this invisible force shaping your decisions.
It really is. It's that invisible force that we're diving deep into today.
Okay.
Manipulation and the study behind it. That's called dark psychology.
Dark psychology. Wow. Okay, you've got my attention. That sounds kind of like a thriller movie.
Yeah, sometimes it does feel that way. It's basically the study of how people use tactics to influence and sometimes even exploit others.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of times people don't even realize it's happening.
So this is your typical self-help stuff then. Are we talking like evil geniuses here?
Not always, no. It's not always about someone having bad intentions.
Okay.
Sometimes people use these tactics without even knowing you're doing it. But that doesn't mean it's not impactful. The important thing is recognizing how these tactics work so you can protect yourself.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So how do we even start untangling all of this?
Well, think of manipulation like a toolbox, right?
Okay, toolbox.
One of the most powerful tools is isolation.
Okay.
When a manipulator separates you from your support system, they can basically become your only source of information and validation.
Oh, I see.
And that makes you way more vulnerable to their influence.
So it's like they cut off all your lifelines, and then they're the only one there to throw you a rope.
Exactly. It
Yeah.
creates this vacuum.
Right.
And in that vacuum, their influence just grows. It happens today, too, not just in the history books.
Yeah, like where?
Think about cults or even abusive relationships.
Oh, right.
Manipulators use isolation to make their target totally dependent on them.
It's wild how it's not just about being charming. It's like they're strategically controlling the whole situation,
Right.
like setting the stage for manipulation. But what if you can't actually isolate someone physically?
Well, then you reach for a different tool in that toolbox, creating a new identity.
Oh.
Think about con artists, right?
Yeah.
They don't always isolate their victims physically,
Right.
but they'll create this whole persona just to gain trust and take advantage of people.
It's like catfishing, but in real life.
Exactly. Creating this whole fake personality to trick people. It makes you wonder about those perfect personalities we see online.
Right. Are they really who they're showing us?
Exactly. And sometimes it's not about creating a whole new identity.
Okay.
It's more about cultivating this air of mystery.
Ooh, mysterious.
The less you reveal, the more people fill in the blanks themselves.
Right.
And they often end up imagining something way more interesting than reality.
It's like a magician, right? Keeping everyone captivated by hiding how the trick works. So you're saying playing hard to get is actually a manipulation tactic.
Well, it can be, yeah.
Sign me up for that masterclass then.
Haha, hold on. It can definitely be seductive, yeah.
Right.
But that mystery can also be used to manipulate, like charismatic leaders or certain influencers. They use this tactic to boost their appeal and keep people hooked.
So we got isolation, creating a new persona, and playing the mystery card. What other tricks are hidden up manipulation's sleeve?
Ever notice how you tend to like people who are similar to you?
Oh, for sure.
Well, manipulators know that, and they use a technique called mirroring to exploit it.
Mirroring.
Yeah, it's basically subtly reflecting your body language, the way you talk, even your values, all to make you feel an instant connection.
Wait, so you're telling me that just by mirroring someone, you can actually influence them? That's crazy. Didn't some famous therapist use that technique?
You're thinking of Dr. Milton Erickson. He was amazing at mirroring, used it to build trust with his patients and make them more open to his suggestions.
So it's like speaking their language.
Yeah.
But on a deeper level, to create this sense of trust and understanding. Wow, that's powerful. But it also seems pretty subtle.
Exactly. And that's what's so effective. It works on a subconscious level, breaks down your defenses, and makes you feel connected. In the hands of a manipulator, though, it can be used to gain a lot of influence.
It's like they create this echo chamber where the target feels totally understood and validated. Makes them easy to manipulate, basically.
You got it. Mirroring can be really powerful, and it's definitely something to be aware of.
Okay, this is starting to get a little creepy. I'm seeing manipulative tactics everywhere now.
That's good. Awareness is the first step. The more you understand these tactics, the better you'll be at spotting them in real life.
Okay.
And that's exactly what we'll keep exploring in part 2.
Can't wait. I have a feeling this is about to get even more interesting.
Welcome back to our deep dive into manipulation and dark psychology.
Okay, so we know manipulation is like this toolbox full of sneaky tactics.
Right.
But how do we actually spot these manipulators out in the real world?
Yeah,
Like, what are the red flags to look out for?
absolutely. One of the biggest signs is a need for control.
Control. Oh,
Manipulators always try to dictate everything. Like, they steer the conversation,
okay.
make decisions on their own, and even try to isolate you from other people.
So if someone's always trying to manage every single part of the interaction, that's a red flag.
Definitely something to watch out for. Another big one is emotional manipulation.
What's that look like? Give me an example.
Think guilt trips, playing the victim,
Okay.
or even using tons of flattery and praise to get what they want.
Oh, so it's like tugging at your heartstrings to get their way instead of just being direct.
Exactly. They use your emotions instead of having a real discussion or respecting your boundaries.
Speaking of boundaries, it seems like manipulators would have a problem with those.
Yeah, big time.
So if you're always feeling emotionally exhausted or like your needs aren't being met, that's a sign to pay attention.
Absolutely. It means something might not be right. Another tricky tactic is gaslighting.
Gaslighting. That sounds kind of scary. What is that?
Basically, the manipulator twists reality to make you doubt what you believe
Really?
and even your own sanity.
Whoa, hold on, gaslighting. Like making you question your memories and whether you're sane.
Exactly. It's all about breaking down your confidence and making you more dependent on them. And it's often done in very subtle ways, you know?
Oh, wow.
With denials, contradictions, and confusing you, which makes it even more sneaky.
Wow, so if someone's always denying your reality or making you feel crazy, that's a huge red flag.
Definitely. You have to trust your gut and get support if you think you're being gaslighted.
It's like they slowly chip away at who you are, making you doubt everything you think and feel. Okay, we've talked about how to spot these manipulators.
Right.
But what about the impact of all this manipulation? How does it actually mess with us mentally and emotionally?
Well, especially if it goes on for a long time or is really bad, manipulation can have some serious psychological consequences.
Okay.
Victims often end up with a lot of anxiety, self-doubt, and even depression.
It's like they're chipping away at your self-esteem,
Right.
leaving you feeling vulnerable and unsure of yourself.
Yeah, it's all that constant invalidation and manipulation that leads to feeling less worthy and not trusting your own judgment.
Man, this is heavy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's a reminder that manipulation is abuse,
Yes,
and it can have serious consequences for the victim.
absolutely. Recognizing it as abuse is so important. It's not about being weak or at fault.
Right.
It's about understanding the power dynamics that manipulators use. They really thrive on that imbalance.
So how do we protect ourselves from all of this? It feels like there's subtle manipulation everywhere we turn,
Right.
from ads to social media to even our personal relationships.
You're right. It's everywhere, which is why awareness is key. The more you understand the tactics and red flags, the better you can spot manipulation when it happens.
So it's like having a mental radar system scanning for signs of manipulation.
Exactly. And just like we have physical boundaries, we need emotional boundaries too.
Okay, I'm listening. Tell me more about these emotional boundaries.
It's about knowing your limits, communicating them clearly, and not being afraid to say no when someone tries to cross them.
Okay.
You have the right to protect your own well-being.
So it's about taking control of your emotions and not letting other people decide how you should feel.
Yeah, exactly. Another important thing is self-care.
Self-care, right?
Manipulators often target people who are feeling vulnerable or drained.
Yeah.
Taking care of yourself physically, emotionally, and mentally makes you more resilient
Oh, I see.
and less likely to be manipulated.
So getting enough sleep, eating healthy, exercising, and doing things you enjoy.
Right.
It's not just about feeling good. It's about protecting yourself from manipulation.
Exactly. When you're feeling strong and grounded, you're less likely to fall for those tactics. It's all about coming from a place of strength, not need.
It's like building up this inner fortress of self-worth
Yes.
to protect yourself from being manipulated from the outside.
Very powerful image. Having a supportive network of friends and family is huge, too.
Those trusted people who can give you a different perspective and make you feel heard.
Exactly. When you're being manipulated, it can be tough to see things clearly. Having support helps you get perspective and reinforces your sense of self. They know and love you, so they can call you out when needed or just offer a shoulder to cry on.
It's like a reality check.
Right.
Reminding you of your worth and helping you see the manipulation for what it is. And don't underestimate the power of education.
Yeah.
Wait, you're saying listening to podcasts like this can help protect us from manipulation?
You got it. The more you know about these tactics, the better you'll be at spotting them and dealing with them. Knowledge is power, right?
So this isn't just about listening passively. It's about actually learning how to navigate these tricky parts of human behavior.
Exactly. Knowledge is power, and in this case, it's about protecting yourself and the people you care about from manipulation. It's like shining a light on the shadows, making those tactics less effective.
We're taking back control and choosing authenticity over manipulation. You know, it's interesting.
Yeah.
We've been talking about protecting ourselves from manipulation, but what about the manipulators themselves? Why do they do it? What makes them resort to these tactics?
That's a great question. The motivations are really complex and can be different for everyone. Sometimes it comes from deep insecurity and a need to control things.
So they manipulate to compensate for feeling inadequate or out of control?
Yeah, exactly. They might feel threatened by other people's success or independence, so they try to assert dominance and maintain a sense of power. It's like they're overcompensating for something.
It's almost like a defense mechanism to
Right.
protect their ego.
Exactly. And in other cases, manipulation is a learned behavior.
Okay.
They might have seen it growing up or experienced it firsthand, and then they adopt it as a way to cope.
So it's this vicious cycle of manipulation, creating more manipulation.
It can be, yeah.
Yikes. Is there any hope for breaking that cycle?
There is.
Yeah.
You have to remember that not all manipulators are intentionally bad or even aware of what they're doing. Some people might use these tactics unconsciously because of unmet needs or emotional issues they haven't dealt with.
So it's not always about wanting to hurt others.
Yeah.
It can be a lack of self-awareness or healthy coping skills.
Exactly. That's why dealing with those underlying issues is crucial.
So if you see yourself in some of these behaviors, therapy or counseling could help break that cycle and learn healthier ways to connect with people.
Definitely. Therapy provides a safe and supportive place to figure out what's causing those behaviors, become more self-aware, and learn better ways to interact.
It's a reminder that change is possible, and asking for help is brave, not weak.
You're right. And it's not just about individual change.
Yeah.
It's about creating a culture of authenticity and respect in our relationships and in society as a whole.
This is a call to action for everyone then.
Yes.
Not just for people who've been manipulated,
Right.
but for all of us to look at how we behave,
Exactly.
challenge those manipulative norms, and strive for more genuine and respectful interactions.
You've hit the nail on the head. It's about raising awareness, promoting empathy, and ultimately creating a world where manipulation is replaced by authenticity, respect, and real connection.
Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into manipulation and dark psychology.
It's been quite a journey.
Yeah, my mind is officially blown. We've uncovered all these sneaky tactics,
Right.
but now I'm ready to fight back. What are my defense mechanisms? How can I protect myself?
Okay, the most important thing, trust your gut.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
You're serious?
Yeah, your intuition is incredibly powerful. If something feels off, it probably is.
So I shouldn't ignore those little doubts or that uneasy feeling, even if I don't know exactly why I have them.
Nope, those feelings are usually red flags waving right in your face.
It's like honoring your inner voice, even when other people try to dismiss it. That's a good one. What else? What other tools can I use?
Assertive communication is huge. This means expressing your needs and boundaries clearly and respectfully, without being aggressive or passive.
So finding that balance between standing up for yourself and being respectful,
Yeah.
not letting people walk all over you, but also not being a jerk.
Exactly. Assertive communication is about using your voice, saying no when you need to, and not letting anyone violate your boundaries. You don't have to say yes to everything.
Okay, I like that. It's like drawing a line in the sand and saying, this is where I stand. What else?
Be careful about what you share. Manipulators love personal information.
That makes sense.
They use it to their advantage. So be smart about who you trust and what you tell them.
Like guarding my inner circle. Only letting in the people I really trust. That's good advice. Anything else? This is great stuff.
And don't underestimate the power of questioning. When someone's trying to manipulate you, they use distractions, half-truths, maybe even lies.
Okay.
Don't let them get away with it.
So I need to see through the smoke and mirrors.
Yeah,
Basically call them out on their BS.
exactly. Don't be afraid to ask questions, challenge what they're saying, and look for proof. Manipulators hate being questioned.
It's like I'm shining a spotlight on their tricks.
Yeah.
Bringing everything into the light. And, you know, if things get really bad,
Yeah.
I can always walk away.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You don't have to stay in any situation that feels manipulative or wrong.
So if those red flags are blaring and my gut's screaming, get out, I should just leave.
You got it. You are not obligated to stay in any conversation or relationship that drains you or goes against your values.
It's all about taking back control, choosing what's real, and being around people who respect me, for me. This whole deep dive has been so eye-opening.
Yeah.
We've gone from feeling vulnerable to feeling like we can spot these manipulators a mile away.
I'm glad to hear that. Remember, awareness is the first step, and now you have the tools to navigate this whole thing. Just stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly, trust your gut.
And to everyone listening, keep this conversation going. Share your stories, thoughts, and questions on social media. Let's create a community where everyone's empowered and chooses authenticity over manipulation. And until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and stay true to yourselves.